Hey everyone, welcome back. You ever feel like you're just drowning in to-dos? I know I do sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there. That feeling of just constant overwhelm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels like no matter how many productivity hacks you try, nothing really sticks.
It can be tough to break out of that cycle for sure.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into something that might just be the answer, the 2-minute rule.
Oh, interesting. I've heard of that one.
Yeah, we actually have a script here based on this short video all about it.
Cool. What's the gist?
Well, it's all about tackling procrastination and getting more done.
Hmm.
And the best part, it's like ridiculously simple.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Simple is always good.
Right. So the whole thing boils down to this. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, just do it now.
Mm.
Like right now. No excuses.
2 minutes. So we're talking really small tasks here, right? Like what kind of stuff?
Yeah, think answering a quick email, putting away those dishes, or, finally making your bed.
Okay, I see. So those little things we tend to put off even though they take no time at all.
Yeah, exactly. They add up though, right? But the 2-minute rule says no more delaying. Just knock it out and move on.
I can see how that would feel pretty satisfying, actually. Just getting those little things off your plate.
Totally. And the script even mentions it. It's like this instant feeling of accomplishment. And that can help build momentum.
That makes sense. Like a little reward system for your brain.
Right. Okay, but I gotta ask, what about the big stuff?
Yeah.
The tasks that take way longer than 2 minutes.
That's where the rule gets even more interesting. For those bigger tasks, you're not aiming to finish them in 2 minutes, obviously, but you commit to working on them for just 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So kind of like a way to just get started.
Exactly. Overcome that inertia. The script uses the example of reading. Like, say you've been meaning to read this book, but just haven't gotten around to it.
I can relate to that.
Right. So with the 2-minute rule, you just pick up the book and read for 2 minutes. That's it.
And the idea is, once you start, you're more likely to keep going.
Precisely. There's this thing called the Zeigarnik effect, where our brains tend to fixate on unfinished tasks. So just by starting, you kind of trigger this effect, and your brain wants to finish what it started.
Fascinating. So it's like tricking your brain into wanting to keep working. I like it.
It's all about building momentum. Once that 2 minutes is up, you've already broken the inertia, and then often you just naturally want to keep going.
I can definitely see that happening. It's funny. The script mentions that this 2-minute rule isn't some brand new concept.
Oh, really? Where'd it come from?
It actually comes from David Allen, who wrote that book, Getting Things Done.
Hmm.
Apparently, it's been around for a while.
That makes sense. Sometimes the simplest ideas are the most effective.
Right. Okay, so we've talked about how it works, but honestly, do you think this 2-minute rule can really make a difference in our lives?
I think it has the potential, definitely. It tackles procrastination at its root by making it easier to just start. And starting is often the hardest part.
Yeah, that's so true. But beyond just starting, what other benefits are there?
Well, it can help build consistency. When you're constantly knocking out small tasks, it creates this sense of accomplishment and encourages you to keep going.
So it's like building good habits over time.
Absolutely. And those small wins add up, leading to bigger changes in the long run. It's a way to kind of rewire your brain to be more action-oriented.
This is really making me think about all the things I've been putting off. So as we wrap this up, what's one key takeaway you'd want our listeners to remember about the 2-minute rule?
I'd say don't underestimate the power of small actions. Even just 2 minutes can make a difference.
Totally. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Think about something you've been putting off, something maybe even a little intimidating. And ask yourself, how can I apply the 2-minute rule to that right now? Can you break it down into a tiny 2-minute step to just get the ball rolling?
Great advice. Sometimes that first step is all it takes. All right, everyone, that's our deep dive into the 2-minute rule. Hopefully you found it as insightful as I did.
It's a great tool to have in your productivity arsenal.
Oh. Absolutely. All right, until next time.